The autumn wind is a pirate, blustering in from sea. With a rollicking song he sweeps along, swaggering boisterously. His face is weather-beaten. He wears a hooded sash, with a silver hat about his head, and a bristling black mustache. He growls as he storms the country, a villain big and bold. And the trees all shake and quiver and quake as he robs them of their gold. The autumn wind is a raider, pillaging just for fun. He'll knock you round and upside down and laugh when he's conquered and won.
All right, what up, Raider Nation? Y'all know what it is, man. It's your boy Raider Rob, and you now tuned in to Raider Nation Central, where we talk about all things, the things silver and black. If you're new to the channel, go ahead and give your boy a like, comment, subscribe, drop videos every week. And without further ado, let's get this thing started. We ain't gonna take up too much of your time. Y'all already know who I got with me. I got my man Uncle Daddy. What's popping, bruh?
What's good, bro?
Nothing much, man. You know what I'm saying? We getting ready to get this season started with, you know what I'm saying? For those you tuned in, you already seen the title of the channel, man. We doing it. We already doing it. We gonna start right post draft, OTAs. We going right into it because the schedules drop, times have dropped. So me and Uncle Daddy figured, man, why don't we just go ahead and just break down this early predictions? Let's get something out the way. This is part one. If you guys already got what you think the Raiders are gonna finish this year, drop it down in the comments, man. For on this first episode, we're gonna go through the first 9 games. All right. So that's gonna be kind of interesting because just a quick backstory before we get started is that the Raiders have, I believe, arguably, according to, I don't know don't quote me on the exact channel or the exact site, but I believe they predicted to have like the fifth toughest schedule this year. If it's not fifth, I know it's top 10. I'll say that. So being
I
looking,
kind of heard the same thing.
I have not fully looked at all the games yet, Uncle Daddy. I'll be honest, I haven't looked at the games. I figure I would just pop them all up. Even the first 9 we gonna do today, I don't even know how they going. I didn't even see all of them. I kind of glanced through them, didn't see where if the team, if we are home or away. Um, and then also
Well,
too,
if I could interrupt, we're gonna launch with a win
well, I mean, with that being said, listen, I'm
at
gonna
the
say,
crib.
I,
At
I,
at
I'm
the
gonna, I'm
crib.
gonna, I'm gonna say this. I will take a lot this year more better than what I did last year. So yeah, if we
Okay.
if we start off with a win, perfect. I think usually we kind of do.
Yeah, that's a problem.
So I'm not gonna look at that
Yeah.
like,
Yeah.
yep, that chalk that one up. If we go back in Raiders history, we done won some games we thought we didn't gonna win. Arguably enough,
Agreed.
last year one of the teams that we beat ended up in the Super Bowl week 1.
The Patriots. That's correct. Yeah.
I mean, so I don't want that to happen. Is what I'm saying. I don't want
And
us to get
I
a
hate
win
to
against a team that's gonna end up in the Super Bowl, but
I hate to jump
respectfully,
the gun because you said you haven't looked at the schedule. We play both teams that was in the Super Bowl last year, this
yeah,
year.
yeah,
So
I
yeah,
do
yeah.
know that. I just, like I said, I wasn't sure about if they were home or away, man. I think
Okay.
one of the things that me looking at it was more or less like, this is so early, and like I told you before, this is so early for me that there's a lot of new pieces again with the Raiders that are coming in. Um, Coaching staffs, players, schemes, all of these different angles that's coming in with the team this year. So I know as excited as I am, I mentally have prepared myself for a 3-year progression. Right? Not saying, and when I mean
3.
3 years, yeah, yeah, definitely 3 years. I think for me, looking at a team, just because we get all these good pieces, it's kind of like when you got too much good things or you have good additions, you still have to position them correctly. And that's all from
Oh,
top down.
100%.
So I can't just say, because even if I looked at the Seattle Seahawks, like you just brought up, man, they went from where when Pete Carroll left to where they got to, That took at least almost 2 years. Well, over 2 years, exactly. I almost want to
Yeah,
say three,
agreed.
but that's the process. The if you can change it in a year, that's remarkable. Now, the reason why I say stuff like that is because there's a difference between getting there in 2 years and then you miss the playoffs and then you're never the same team as you was that you got there. That's what I
Right,
don't want for
right.
the team. That's what I do not want for the Raiders. What I want for the Raiders is to build something to where, okay, you're either fighting for number one, number two seeds, or you're fighting Super Bowls, AFC championships, and you're doing that for the next 10 plus years. I
You want to
believe
establish longevity.
that's the whole point of it. I don't. If I wanted us to
Yeah.
just go win a Super Bowl and not be shit for the next 20 years, I'm gonna take the longevity at the end of the day. Like you're gonna see. But listen, Pittsburgh got 5 rings, bro. So looking at it, everybody in the NFL ain't gonna be just. And the league's been around for roughly over. I mean, hype, respectfully, 100 years. But
Right.
the organization of the NFL AFL merger has been roughly, I'll say, I mean, it's been quite a few years, almost 60 years, 60 plus years now. So looking
Yeah,
at
yeah.
these teams that have been added, the ones that had major runs, the ones who kind of pulled a ring off here and there, those things are going to occur. So listen, man, first of all, I just want to get into the vibe of it, getting the vibe of it. I will say that we got a new head coach, got a new
Yes, sir.
QB.
Yes, sir.
Kubiak is here. You know what I'm
Two
saying?
of them actually. We got two new
Uh,
QBs.
we all know he comes from the Kyle Shanahan coaching tree. He's in Vegas. The organization really feel like we got a coach and a GM that's really about winning. So just a quick vibe check that we can do about our squad, Uncle Dave. Once you tell me how do you, I know how you feel about what they brought in. What do you feel as far as the vibe you get from right now, knowing what you know, even if it's like from the hiring of Kubiak to what you've seen through draft, what is this vibe giving you for the team going forward?
You know what, man? The biggest thing with me, I think this is the biggest shocker for me personally, is the leadership role Spatek has stepped into.
Hmm.
It seemed like last year or whatever, maybe I'm wrong. It seemed like they kind of had some handcuffs on my guy.
Okay.
But it seems like this year, starting with free agency, he just he just jumped out there, man, 10 toes down, and started just like you could really see taking ownership of the team. Um, that's what I'm super excited about more than the head coach. Now, don't get it twisted. I'm very excited behind the head coach. We got a young head coach. I like everything that I'm seeing and I'm hearing so far. So I'm just super excited. It seems like Spot Tech has a voice now, and it seems like they made the right hire with Kubiak to start building for longevity, like you were just kind of alluding to.
Yeah, I think like we just talked about, like I just said, I think
And that's not even touching the draft. That's not
yeah,
even touching the draft. But I
respectfully.
just like the way leadership is moving right now, where it's been a minute since we as
Agree.
Raider fans felt comfortable with leadership.
Yeah. Well, and to piggyback off that, and that just moves me into what I was getting ready to ask you about leadership. Because looking at this, we got number one, got big Fernando. You know,
Yeah, yeah,
shout out to that man. Listen, that was a cool thing they did for the schedule. I like the release of it. I thought it was dope. But
yeah, yeah.
again, we brought Fernando in, man. Obviously, he's there for the future. Brought Kirk Cousins in, right? And that leadership, which he's getting fully guaranteed money, but listen, he did us a solid, just not trying to break the bank. Obviously, I don't know how many teams were exactly looking at him, but I know it just wasn't us, right? But he took
Right,
the
right,
opportunity
right.
to work back again with Kubiak. He likes obviously Kubiak's system, and it's something that he knows that he wants to be a part of. So bringing that him in for a bridge, and then also knowing that we're going to be pushing forward with Fernando, I think for the Raiders, for the most part, is making sure. That's the reason why I said I think this process for them could be somewhere in about 3 years. If it's a lot sooner, I believe at that point guys have outperformed the expectations, right? There's guys that
Agreed.
are,
Or
these guys.
defense is probably top five.
Well, even at that though,
Does that make
because
sense?
I mean it does, and that means that the offense will have to be somewhat efficient. And I think that's going to be something that they're going to have to figure out more. I think on defense is going to be a lot more easier for them as a cohesive unit to work than it is on offense. And that's not a shot on defense. It's just the fact that there's more guys on that offensive side that have to play a position that they might have to play out of, right?
Yeah.
On
Yeah.
defense, it
Agreed.
seems like the guys are going to know exactly what their roles are and how they're going to fit well in the scheme. I think
And
offensively,
defenses normally come together quicker than offenses,
well, they should.
typically.
They should.
They should. They
Yeah, they
should.
should,
Yeah.
but it like I said, it works kind of hand in hand. I think with revamping the secondary again, that's a definite shift because that's a lot of communication between the secondary players. But the front line is pretty solid, and the linebacking
So that'll
core
help them come
is
along quicker, wouldn't you agree?
as far as who.
Meaning a secondary.
I mean, you could be, but like I said
Should
again,
be.
it's not the same as playing the front line, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, the defensive front can be very effective, but still on the back end, it still has to be a lot more communication. In the end, they're not really talking to each other, but
Right.
safeties to corners they are because they got to understand when somebody's playing a certain coverage. I'm playing shallow, you got to have me back, and that's just understanding between each other. I think on the defensive line there is schemes, but it's always touched off base where somebody is, and they're not necessarily communicating with each other. They're getting their information from the people behind them because the field
Correct.
guys are really the ones that got to orchestrate it. But again, that's not saying that the secondary is bad or nothing. It's just I believe that they've got awesome pieces. Like we talk about McCoy from Tennessee. If he pans out to be the top receiver that they believe he can be, we really struck gold. So that's why I'm saying I'm easing my way into this year. I've seen some records, and that kind of made me want to do these episodes because I know for a fact there's a lot of people that are just like they ready to already start thinking we going for Lombardi this year. Hey man, I if that happens,
Love it.
yeah, love it. I love it.
Right.
But what's the sustainability of it, right? So
Yeah.
with that, man, you know what I mean? Because you brought up the defense. We picked up Big Stokes. We got Teron Johnson. I think we Jerron McCoy. Who else do I got? N'Kobe Dean, Quay Walker. Of course, Max Crosby staying. We got some guys that we're gonna be able to work with
Quiddy
this year.
Payne.
Quiddy Payne, yes, we got some guys on that defense, and then certain key pieces that we added, I think may make the team. I did know that we are now converting one of our offensive linemen to defense. He's a
Really?
big, yeah, he's a big dude, man. I cannot.
I
He's
didn't see that.
Samoan, bro. He's right now OTAs. Um,
Is it Louis or something like that?
Yes, I don't want to jack his name up. I'm sorry, bro. I
And,
don't want
and,
I
and
don't want to jack your
My
name up.
bad.
I don't want
Shit,
I don't do that.
I
Uncle
screw up
Uncle
regular.
Uncle Uncle Daddy go. He'll chop suey your name. I'm sorry, bro.
All
I'm not
day.
gonna mess your name up. I'll post it up down here. That way I'll put you a picture up. That way you already know. Like, hey, I got love for you. The fact you transition is what it is. But
Hell, I get Rob's
hey
name wrong
man, it's just
sometimes.
one
So
of the
don't.
things that we gonna do. Sometimes we gonna mess his name up here too. But even then, man, we keeping some guys that's retained. We still got Brock Bowers, Ashton Genty, of course, 1,300 scrimmage yards last year. Shout out to Genty for that.
Come on.
Um,
Come on.
I think for Kubiak too, that's gonna be something else that he's gonna like because it's gonna be he's gonna give him that workload that's gonna be able to be a good mix. But then also too, I do know since we picked up that running back from
Yes, sir.
Arkansas, Mr. Washington Jr. That's a good. Here's the thing that I like about that pick, and if y'all go back into our earlier videos, Uncle Daddy have been talking about him. This guy right here he built like a blank brick house, right? He's got all the intangibles that can be a workload back, but you compliment him with another young back. yo, bro, we got a two-headed monster that
And that's the
is,
crazy part. That we like you said, a young back.
yeah,
That's the crazy part,
yeah, we
man.
got two young backs. That's
Yeah.
why I like what Spot Tech did in that regard. I thought it was perfect. I thought the way that he laid that out and was able to get him, I believe, in the fourth round was
I thought it was a
beautiful.
little bit later. I may be wrong on that. I thought it
I
was
don't think because he
okay.
couldn't have went if he did go fifth. I believe he probably went fifth. I'm gonna have to go back
Yeah, I
and
don't
look.
think it went past fifth, but yeah,
Yeah,
listen,
I
it
know he
was a
didn't go
steal.
past fifth because I know who the sixth and fifth pick was, but
Yeah, yeah.
I
So
want
it
to
was a
say
steal to
because,
me.
huh?
It was a steal to me.
I mean, I don't think he was a steal. You think he was a steal? I think
Oh,
he
okay.
went. I think he went where he
Let
should
me
have
let
went.
me be a little bit let me be a little bit messy right now. I think it was a luxury pick. Since they love to say we get so many luxury picks. I think it was a luxury pick. But I think for our situation, that made him a steal.
Okay. I mean, I can see that.
Because we didn't need a running back.
I don't think we needed it. You right. I don't think
There were
we
some
needed
teams
it.
that needed a running back.
Well, I think too for us, I don't how can I say this? I don't think
A
we
luxury
needed a
pick.
running back. No, I don't know if he was a luxury pick, but I think he's gonna fit the system and they wanted him
100%.
they wanted his what he could do
Skills.
specifically, skill set.
Yeah.
They wanted his
His
skill
skill
set
set. Yeah.
specifically. So even then, with all the drafts we got, man, listen, we spent 305. Well, I'm sorry, 305 million spent in free agency this off season. Three hundred
Yeah,
five
yeah.
million spent in this year's off season. That's actually the second most in the NFL, right? I don't know who the first one is. Y'all go look that up. I don't give a shit, to be honest. Um, but that's another thing. Getting into the mix of is knowing like the fact we got Kirk Cousins. We know that he was cut by Atlanta. Atlanta obviously is maybe moving on from Michael Penix already. Because they brought in Tua Tagovailoa. It could be a quarterback controversy there. I don't know, man. But Cousins did say publicly, bro, he didn't come here to be a backup. He actually came here to compete for the starting job. Looks like he might retain it until further notice. I'll say it like that.
Right.
I'm gonna kind of package it up like that because it's not saying that he's not capable of being a starting quarterback, but I think that if his skills start to show a heavy decline and diminish, I think he can still control the offense. I believe he can still kind of run it, but I don't know if physically he's going to be able to outplay Mendoza. Once Mendoza gets caught up with them playbook wise and understanding the NFL, right? If Mendoza can absorb the NFL quicker than where Kubiak and them expect him to be, which I think they want to give him a year. But if somehow or another he just starts showing sights in practice and he's kind of outplaying, and then they give him some first rep shots, it could be some changes come in. We don't
You know,
know.
here's my personal opinion. I don't care if Mendoza is killing Kurt preseason training camp, whatever, first few weeks. I still think they're gonna be a little bit more cautious with that young man and roll out Kurt. Kurt
Right,
does have the NFL experience.
right,
Yes, Mendoza won a Heisman, won the Natty, but you still want to be careful with that. That's still a different animal coming into this NFL.
right.
So, um, I, this is just my personal opinion. I ain't got no inside reports out there in Vegas. Do I think we'll see Mendoza this year? 100%.
Yeah,
I think it'd probably be the last quarter of the year versus seeing him early. That's my personal opinion.
gotcha.
I may be totally wrong. Hell, we both may be wrong.
Yeah,
This kid may come out the gate and start. Who knows?
yeah.
But I
Because
think they are going to be a little
that
bit
was
more
that was gonna
careful.
be my next question to you was because I thought about this and I don't really know, man. When at what point do you think if it was because you already kind of said the last quarter of the season, which would be roughly about the last 4 5
4
games,
games.
maybe,
Yeah, yeah,
right?
yeah, yeah.
That's what. So that would kind of put it somewhere around what you say week 12, 13 ish, something like that.
Sounds about right.
So that's why I was trying to figure out like where would the keys be handed to Mendoza if the season was just kind of on the brink of not being playoff contenders this year? At
I'm
what
only
point do you
basing
see
this
that?
off what my eyes show me with the leadership.
Hmm.
If we come out and lose our first 8 games, I'm still not throwing that kid in, that young man
Hmm.
in. I still want him to sit on the sideline, hear the veterans talk, hear the veterans lead, and then just let him know, look here, bro. These last 4 games, you going in. Because I want you with that NFL experience going into the 2027 season.
Gotcha.
But best case scenario, if we're winning a bunch of games and I can give him some spot duty here and there, I'm not opposed to that either.
Okay. So, well, and which still kind of ties into what you said as far as
But I don't want him starting week 1. I'm gonna be honest with you on that. As much as I want to see him,
yeah.
unless he is just 1,000% better than what our eyes showed us, which I think he's gonna be a successful QB in the NFL, I still don't want him coming in that game week 1.
Okay. So let's just say he outperforms Cousins in training camp. You still don't want to see him there week
No,
one. Okay.
no, no, no.
Preseason, he's showing big flashes because you know he's gonna play a lot of preseason,
I'm gonna get excited.
but you still don't want to see him start.
I listen. I want to go back to the
Because
old
I
NFL.
will say this. Let's just before I didn't mean to cut you off, but let's just say he's playing against the ones on the defense and he's showing like he can move the ball. I know it's a vanilla. I know it's gonna be a lot of we ain't showing our whole hands of plays, but he's showing like he's controlling the offense in a sense. It's not three and out, three and out, three and out, not being able to score. Maybe he's only getting a first quarter crack maybe at it because a lot of starters don't really get the opportunity to play in preseason, but could be
So
somewhere he
so
shows.
here's the deal. Here's the deal. If you're gonna do that, if we're gonna go that route, just say Kirk Cousins QB2. Say it today.
Yeah,
And this is what we're gonna do. And if it's a CJ Stroud, I'm sorry, not CJ Stroud, Bryce Young situation, where how they threw him out there to the fire, and then later he got benched by Andy Dalton, if I recall right. And then that grows him up or whatever. I'm trying to use my words correctly. I'm okay with that as well. I just as long as management has a plan and Mendoza knows that plan. Does that make sense?
yeah,
Like I don't want to play with him. I
yeah.
think QBs we've seen a bunch of QBs come get thrown into the fire and teams didn't do right by them and their careers ended quickly. And I shit, correct me if I'm wrong. I don't really want to throw no names out there tonight, but David Carr really reminds me of that. Blaine Gabbert that came out of Mizzou that went to Jacksonville.
Yeah.
Kind of same situation. And I think both of them guys could have had way better careers, but I don't think management led them the right way with their career.
Gotcha. Okay. Well, I mean, and again, you know what I mean. It's just one of those things where I don't think the Raiders are looking to do that. I think they've made it.
Me either.
They
Me either.
vocally said that even Kubiak has came out, I believe, on numerous interviews and said, look, it's not somebody that
That's not the
I'm
plan.
trying to
Yeah,
doing
yeah.
that. Want him to
I've heard him
learn the
say that. I've
playbook.
heard that.
Want him to
I've heard
get
that too.
very understood. Want him to be able to um, get understanding of the NFL. Basically, he's just saying I want him to grow in the position. I'm not just trying to throw him in there. So I like that.
And
I
I
think
don't know
that's a
your
good
opinion.
process.
I don't know your opinion on this. I think the NFL needs to get back to bringing those guys in, giving them like a year head start versus, oh, we got to win today, so let's draft this kid number 1 and throw his ass in there game 1. And I think the NFL has ruined a lot of, especially QBs, doing that.
Yeah, I could definitely see that. I think they sometimes push the gun too quick on certain guys,
Yeah,
and
yeah, yeah.
when it doesn't pan out, it's just like, all right, he's not the one. Now, I will say I have seen in certain instances where guys have been given that chance to um, grow, um, but then still kind of come up a little bit short, but actually are a lot better off because they've been in the NFL for a couple years and had to play behind a quarterback. Could have been a Super Bowl winning quarterback or whatnot, you might say. But some of the guys that have to come up through the hard knocks, they usually tend to not get to flourish until later, until they get some different, a different
Yeah, yeah.
different voice in that locker room. And I think that that's something the Raiders gonna have, obviously with Kubiak. So, with that being said, y'all know what time it is, man. Me and Uncle Dave about to give y'all some win-loss records. Y'all ready?
Let's get into it. Let's
Yo,
get
man,
into it.
first and foremost, let's get it cracking. Now, Uncle Dave already said he gave this one a dub. All right, he already said he gave it a dub. And I hate to say it, but he's right. But without further ado, week one at home versus the Miami Dolphins. The Miami Dolphins obviously got a new head coach, new OCs, new GMs. They lost a lot of players.
They got
They
new lockers in their
retained
room, bro.
they
That's how
they
much
they
new.
retained some players. There's some new probably owners that done bought the team. Who knows, man? But with that being said, we got a lot of new pieces as well, right? So Uncle Dave, you already called it. You called the shot. Let me just go ahead here real quick. Again, man, because I don't have a lot to say about this one because I don't want to say it's the Dolphins. I don't want to look past them like that, but they got a lot going on. Just probably way more than what we had.
Way
So
more than they need.
yeah,
Correct.
so I'm gonna let you have it on this one. Who you? Because we both got them as dubs. So I don't know if there was gonna be. I would have expected something a little different, but yeah, I can't on this because you're right.
Well, here's my deal. I don't think there's too many people that can name more than two players on Miami that ain't Miami Dolphin fans. So with that being said, that's a dub. I got Achan and I got, is it Malik Willis, the QB? What's his name? Is that the
Yeah,
name?
Malik Willis.
Okay, name another player.
I know a
If you say
couple.
what, if you say Waddle, his ass is
Nah,
in
nah, I
Denver
wasn't
now.
gonna
So
say Waddle, but I did know like defensively, I know they gutted them, but I didn't know if they still had Cedric Wilson there. Um,
I don't know.
but other than that, a lot of them guys have been released, so yeah, they do got a whole new.
So I'm gonna go with Dub.
Yeah.
Let's move on. Week two.
Well, like I said, that was
That
that
was
was pretty
easy.
much quick. I gave them a dub. It wasn't a lot to really talk about.
Yeah.
Like I said, they had a lot of big ones. Now we got a away game week two.
Shit.
And so
It's
it's
down the
our
street. It's down the
it's down
street. In
it's
all
basically down
fairness,
the street. We going to SoFi with the Chargers. The Chargers obviously got Jim Harbaugh. He's in year three. Justin Herbert, Mike McDaniel now is there. What else we got? We got they got Justin Herbert. Their offensive line is obviously, I believe, one of the best. I do know that they've upgraded and built one of the best offensive lines in football. Um, I will say this. This is tricky for me, and I don't really know how to go with this one. And I know we got some advantages ourselves, but this is Kubiak's first time facing this team. Uh, they haven't been able to kind of scout Kubiak under this team yet, right? So that's new to the Chargers. Pretty much Raiders can Rob Leonard's already played against the Chargers offense. So, but it's gonna be a Mike McDaniel's led now, so that's gonna be something a little bit more different. Um, having Ashton Genty as our RPO nightmare. I don't know if it's gonna be a lot of RPOs under um, Cousins being our quarterback, but we'll see. But
Rob. Let's just rip the band-aid.
Justin
Let's just rip
Herbert.
the
Well,
band-aid
I
off
don't
on
I
this
don't
one.
really know yet because that's what I'm saying. There's a lot that goes with it because Justin Herbert is a good quarterback, bro. And
I agree.
I can say this: if the game's competitive, it can be definitely be the Raiders get at it, right? But I will say this: week 2 on the road at SoFi is almost like a home game for the Raiders. I'm gonna say that. So we
I agree.
pretty much got
Now
two
that
home
I will.
games.
I agree.
I will give the Raiders a dub on this one.
Really?
Yeah, I'm gonna give the Raiders a dub. I think you said it earlier. You said that the Raiders have an excellent defense. I
Yeah.
think that they're very familiar, and Justin Herbert's a hell of a quarterback. But I mean, I've it's not like we haven't beaten Justin Herbert before. So
Agreed. I'm a little bit
I
worried
will
about that.
take that into
That
account.
game I'm a little worried about. I'm gonna go with an L on that one.
Okay. And I mean, that like I told you, I was kind of going back and forth because I know what Justin Herbert is, man. He's a
Yeah.
beast. He is a beast, and that's just
Yeah.
something there that I'm just gonna have to deal with. So definitely I'm gonna take Herbert as playing better than Cousins. I'll say that. Overall, everything else, I know they got a good running back. I know they got good wide receivers, but I'm not about to put them as top tier. I can't even put them in the top of the division. So that gives me room to speculate, right? So I
Okay.
got him. I got him as a
I'm a.
dub. You got him as a
I
D.
got it as an L, but here's the deal. This is still early. I still think it'll be a close game.
Respectfully, of course. I
It's
don't.
it's a rivalry. It's a rival game.
Yeah.
I'm gonna give a dub to the Chargers. I don't want to do it, but I'm gonna get a dub to the Chargers on
Okay.
that one.
All right. So that's what we got. We got it right there. So that's what we got. You got them losing. I got them winning. But
Okay.
then we going into week 3, and week 3 we going to
Saints,
the
if I
we
recall
going to
right.
the Big Easy, baby. We going down to the Big Easy, down to the Bayou Bowl. All right. Um, Obviously you got a game versus the Saints. It looks like it's a 425 game. Hey man, the Saints they've been rebuilding since Drew Brees, right? I always gotta
Kind of
they,
turn.
they
They
gotta
kind of
they
turned it
they
around
kind of
last
turn
year, though.
around. They got some coaching issues as well. Um, but the franchise is trying, like, I just know they were in a lot of cap frustrations
Yeah.
for
Yeah.
many years, right?
Yeah.
And having some of the guys that they've drafted and guys coming to an end, bringing in guys that didn't work, and now just trying to figure it out, especially in that NFC South. I know definitely. Shout out to Stefan, with Branch Huddle. He's very scared of them. If you guys didn't see the last video where he actually picked them to win the NFC South, go look at that. That blew my mind. But this could be this is where it gets a little tricky for me because I feel like, man, now I'm just going off how I'm picking them right now. You went week one, you won week 2. This could be a trap game week 3 because you going to the Big Easy, man. And
Definitely. Definitely a trap game.
one thing I can
Definitely.
see about the Saints is that they are very loud in that stadium. It get that Saints voodoo sometimes get going, and next thing you know, man, you out there and getting cooked by Tyler Slow and the rest of the cronies. You know what I'm saying? So
Yeah.
this
Yeah.
game for me, man, is just something where I feel like if I had to give them a loss early, this is the one game I looked at that I could be like, this could be an L. Now, mind you, I didn't know the order of some of these, but when I seen where it was at, I didn't know if it was home or away. I would have felt a lot better if it was at home, but the fact that it's a away game, I'm gonna give the Raiders an L on this one, man. Let me hear you,
Wow.
Uncle Daddy.
So here's the deal. I went week 1. We gonna open up with a dub, and I said week 2. I think it's gonna be an L. I hope I'm wrong on that. I think this the Saints game is gonna be a trap game. I really believe that. We walk away with the dub though.
Mm. Doesn't that kind of defeat the purpose of a trap game, though? I mean, I feel like a trap. So am I reading that wrong? I thought a trap game was like you got caught in a trap, like you should have won it, but you didn't win it.
I look at a trap game as in you can go into it downplaying that other squad and some way somehow you come out with the
Like you
dub.
just didn't play your best football. Yeah, okay.
Didn't play your best, or you had to play your best late.
Play down to the
Play
competition in a
down,
sense.
something like that. Yeah. So that I mean, trap games can work both ways. What we just said, but
Hmm.
I think they can go into this game looking down, whatever. I don't know. May go down there eat too much gumbo. Hell, I don't know.
Eat too many beignets out there,
There
whatever.
you go. There you go. You
Got a
know,
couple of them out there too long on
a
Bourbon
little
Street. I
gassy
think.
from the red beans and rice and shit,
Got you,
but you
got you.
know, I think we pull this one out late.
Okay, okay. Um, yeah, man. I like that. I think for the most part, you're right. Is that you can't get kind of caught up in that. I probably see it a little different you do as far as trap game, but yeah, you can play down your
I
competition
just think
and
New
still
Orleans.
pull it
I,
out.
I, I just think the Saints are a little bit better than what people are saying right now. That's
Yeah,
me personally.
yeah. Well, they have them pretty slated to be a improving team. So they kind of got them improving,
Okay.
but you are right. My brother didn't think. My brother believed it was a hot take he gave, man, and he felt like they could get 10 wins this season, and
Damn, I got to go back and look at that. I didn't see
that's a
that one.
big improvement. That's a big improvement. So
Yeah, he's on something different right
his
now. I'm
feeling
seeing
with
that.
that and his understanding the NFC South is just where he going. But listen, baby, game four.
That's it. Come on, come on,
It's what the fuck
come
I've
on.
been waiting on. I'm sorry to cuss, but I'm gonna tell you something about this one right here. When this one go down, I'm front and center, baby. Eyes locked. Don't call me to the end of the game. That goes for my Raider fans too, because I done been around Raider fans as well. When we been tacking that ass, and the next thing I know, I'm fucking got tail in between my legs. But anyway, Raiders come back to the crib, Allegiant Stadium, to take on the Kansas City Chiefs. It will be, of course, a 425 game. Chief situation, I believe that Mahomes will be back from his injury. He could be. Let's just say this, if everything is going how they speculate.
I don't give a
So
piss
we're
if he
not
is
gonna
or
get
ain't.
it. We're not gonna get that. Because here's the thing, man. Technically, they ain't beat Mahomes in Allegiant yet. That's something that people gonna say, right? They beat the Chiefs, yep, as you should have, because you played with a third string quarterback, but we did too. So all that hoopla, we still won. The team still won. Chiefs brought back obviously their previous OC enemy. They Andy Reid still the coach. You know the strengths they got Mahomes, Travis Kelce, offensive line. They obviously picked up the running back that Kubiak knows very well and Kenneth Walker the third. Um, the Raiders, it's normally, man, I would say this would be a dominant home game for them, but I think since we're still setting the culture there, it's gonna be still kind of a neutral game for the Raiders, and that's just because there's gonna be a bunch of out of town Chiefs fans is gonna be there. It's just something. It's Vegas. They gonna travel. They gonna make the biggest ruckus they can of it. One of the things I will say is this one right here. I'm still going back and forth on, right? Because one of my beliefs always is that right now, and this is just maybe just call it superstition or something like that, but a lot of times the Raiders aren't sweeping the Chiefs every year. The last time
No.
I believe the Raiders have beat the Chiefs twice in the season, they went 8-8 and they didn't make the playoffs. They literally went 8-8. They beat every team in the AFC West.
Yeah, yeah, that's
And
correct.
this is something to where I'm kind of just thinking about it. I'm trying to see where I want to go with this one. And I'm gonna say this. I'm one of the things I'm trying not to use my Raider bias, and I'm just thinking about overall what we have. I believe they can beat the Chiefs. I believe they always can. I think when they're coached right and the defense is being able to kind of fly around and play that style to where they'll get after the quarterback, ruffle up the opposing team's quarterback a little bit, get him off his rocker. They can play some good football. I think on one side though is that defensively they were always kind of giving up big plays. Offensively, they just couldn't move the ball sometimes. I think that changes this year. I think bringing in Rob Leonard and letting him call and dial up what he wants because he's very already familiar with the team, the Chiefs. He probably already can just go back and look at how Bieniemy schemes up plays and Andy Reid. As crazy as it sounds, man, Raiders get the dub at the crib, and I'm gonna give them that. I'm gonna give them that shot. Could I be wrong? Of course. But I feel in this instance they're gonna be trying to play a lot better at home. I believe they understand home's got to be home, and the more wins we can get and lock in at home, the better off we have an opportunity to have a more positive record. So it was kind of me just going back and forth with it, but I will go in the point of the Chiefs losing to the Raiders at Allegiant.
So here's my take, and I'm gonna be honest with you. I was hoping we played them at the crib later in the season. I'm gonna get the Raiders a dub on this one.
Okay. Okay.
Um, Kind of going back to the Mahomes injury. I think Mahomes is starting week one.
Mhm.
I don't know how fluid he would be. Is that kid a stud all day? However, I think with that defense that early in the season with fresh legs, I'm just going with the Raiders on that one.
Okay.
I want to be more. I want to be more excited behind it because it would be Raiders week or rivalry week, whatever one you want to say. But I'm gonna go ahead and get the Raiders a dub on that one.
Yeah. I mean, like I said, you either
I think
or.
we're gonna be supercharged in the early part of the season. I really do,
Yeah.
with or without Mendoza starting, and
Yeah.
that can be a bad thing for opposing teams. That damn near makes me change my decision on that Chargers game, but I'm only giving it to the Chargers because they're at home,
Yeah.
which is damn near Raiders' home game. However, Chiefs coming in to Allegiant, new season, new everything. I'm going with the Raiders on that one.
I mean, that's just what, like I
But I
said.
will make a concession. I will make a concession to that. If we lose that one, we win a second game with them. We will split with the Chiefs this year.
Yeah, I usually see that. That's how I usually see it. And sometimes, man, we will go to Arrowhead and win a game.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
happened. It's happened a few times. We've win the Arrowhead and won a game. Um, I think a lot of times in the past we just never played our best football. I think that kind of changes this year. I see them making mistakes, but I see them correcting them very quickly
Yeah.
because the team
Yeah.
is really structured around winning and trying to reclaim the AFC West throne as far as like divisional championships and make sure
I
that
ain't gonna say
that's right.
AFC West. I'm not gonna. I agree with everything you said, but I'm not gonna say. I'm not gonna say AFC West. I'm gonna go with the commitment to excellence. It's what they're trying to reclaim.
Yeah. Well, I mean, but even if what is the excellence is the culture and just like you said, you know, having that ability to play your best football. Like I said,
Correct.
The Chiefs last
Correct.
year pretty much embarrassed them at Arrowhead. But then they kind of put the little icing on the cake for them when they were able to beat the Chiefs last year at Allegiant. So I went ahead and gave it to them this year. Um, I don't know. You said you gave them a dub too, right? Yeah. So
Yeah. Yeah.
both gave. You already know, man. Listen, we feel like they're gonna split, so you kind of know how that's gonna feel. Um, who knows, man, how it be towards because I already know in the second half of the season. I think I know where they play them at second half, but we'll get into that video when that come up. But listen, man, week 5 we gotta take that trip back to the
Goosh.
East Coast, right? To play against the defending AFC West champion. I mean, I said AFC West. I'm sorry, guys. Um, the AFC champions, New England Patriots. Drake May, oh slick, oh slick. What's my coach out there? My
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
yeah,
Vrabel.
yeah,
Vrabel.
my boy
Vrabel.
Vrabel out here. Oh
Out
sneaky
here in these
link
streets.
Vrabel. Huh? Huh? Yeah.
Out here in these
Stefan
streets.
ain't the only one out here doing it. listen, he had his little fling, didn't he? You know what I'm saying? So listen,
Yes, sir.
listen, man. I'm gonna tell you something about New England Patriots. Really good football team. Was very impressed with how Vrabel came in and just they immediately fell in line with the identity of what they were trying to do. Um, do I think Drake May is all world? Not yet. I don't. I don't believe he's all world yet, but
Me
he's
either.
very efficient as a quarterback. Um, they have a lot of good pieces, man. The wide receiving core, it don't matter who he throws to. He's got two
Quick
tight
question: Is
ends.
there
He
is
got a
there?
bunch of guys.
I just got a question for you on that. Is the defense better? Is what you thinking, or the offense?
I think the
Are you
defense
thinking
is. I
50-50?
think the defense. Yeah, I think it's more of a cohesive unit. I ain't saying
Okay.
the defense is like elite, but they're good. They're good.
Okay.
They
Okay.
are good. When it's time for them to step up, I think they were a lot better at the pass and a little bit susceptible to the run, just from last year. But they seem like they stepped that up in the playoffs, man. They started making sure, like, listen, let's see what these guys can do against us because,
See, I thought their defense was highly underrated last year. That's my personal opinion.
okay, well,
But I
I
feel
never
their defense was underrated.
I don't know if they were underrated. I know that they had their secondary is good. Their secondary is good. I think they
Yeah,
were
yeah,
working on their front line. Um, but they had, like I said, they brought in some good pieces, man. Um,
yeah.
with that being said, I'm gonna take New England in this one. I'm gonna take New England.
I'm not gonna
Uh,
waste no time. I'm not gonna waste no time. I'm gonna agree.
I'm gonna tell you why partially I'm gonna take New England because one of it's got to do with the travel. One of it's got to do with
Agreed.
the travel.
That was one of my
That
reasons.
and it's an earlier game. Um, to them, they're gonna be feel like they playing at freaking 10 o'clock in the morning, compared to New England. Um,
Right.
I think New England is still gonna be prepared. They're still gonna be pretty decent. I will say this: I don't think it's gonna be a blowout or none. I just think it's gonna be New England's just gonna be able to do what they need to do,
Agreed.
to kind of keep the Raiders at bay. And two, I could be wrong. Like I said, man, I could be wrong, but I will give them the benefit of the doubt of the travel and just being able to have that team ready to play at that time, right?
Right. I
Um,
agree. I
so
agree.
Kubiak and them
I think we're on the same level with that.
could surprise me. Maybe, maybe not. I don't know. So I got him as an L, and you already said that you was feeling the same way, so I guess you concur, right?
Yes, sir.
But here we go, man. Here we go.
It's it kind of gets us that
that
gauntlet of the schedule.
I was just getting ready to say. Uh, week 6 though, we come back to the crib. Now, mind you, man, I'm a person that love home games. I believe that you gotta protect the house. But you got somebody coming in, man, that wear a suit of armor. They don't give a fuck who house it is.
None.
He'll try to beat the crap out of you in your own house.
Will put his feet
Which
all up on your furniture.
so week 6, we at home against the Buffalo Bills.
L.
Josh Allen. Now hold on now, hold on. Now, see, this is where it get a little tricky. You already yelling out L. I don't like that. I don't like how you already saying L now because we looking at it and we know it's gonna be a tough game. But
My bad for saying L. Tough game.
let's just unpack this for the full nature of the fans, man. Raider Nation, let me know. Y'all already know. Y'all know Josh Allen legit. Cool. We know that. MVP guy. He coming into Allegiant. I believe it's gonna be his first time playing at Allegiant. I think it's gonna be his first time playing at
Really?
Allegiant. Yeah. I think
Okay.
I can't remember the head coach's name now. For
Yeah, because I got the new cat.
Yeah, they just brought him in because McDermott's gone. The Raiders do have home field advantage, but like I said, I don't know for Allen if that matters. But one of the things I do know is that the size of who Josh Allen is and just him as a player plays a significant role whether they win or not. We know that.
I think their defense is going to fall off a little bit this year, but I still, yeah, they're still going to be
I don't
contenders.
know how our defense is going to play, and I will say this. Josh Allen's gonna give you everything he got. If he's playing like Superman in that game,
That's what he does, and that's what
it's
he
going to
does.
be a rough game. for the Raiders. But if he's not able to get some of the stuff off that he wants to get, he'll kind of look just like he did against the Texans.
Agreed.
So, but I will say this because, and the only reason why I'm saying is because the Raiders will be coming out in a new team, new quarterback, new system, right? You're playing somebody that's already like even though that the Bills have a new head coach, he still was a part of the organization. He didn't come from
Yeah,
a
it was
different
he was
team.
a OC, wasn't he?
Yeah, he was OC, and he just got promoted up. So,
Excuse me.
um, if I had to be said, and I'm just looking at first glance, I'm taking Buffalo um, with this one. So I'm giving them a L. You already gave them a L, but I do think that I'm only putting that in regards because I know that Josh Allen is just going to be able to kind of do Josh Allen things, barring an injury. If he's not in the game and he's not in there, that kind of changes. If there's a lot of big injuries on his side of the ball, that takes because
Oh,
I
that
think
changed it.
yeah, it changes the whole landscape. And for that, we're just kind of
Absolutely.
just breaking this down on obviously we saying two healthy teams. So even with that, I'm still taking Josh Allen and the Buffalo Bills for the week 6 loss for the Raiders, right? So I it kind of pains me to say that because again, we getting into a gauntlet because week 7, bro, still gets tricky. It's
The
like
Rams.
like yeah, we got the Rams, and this is a home game for the Rams, which could be I want to say it could be a home game for the Raiders, but it's not. It's not going to be a home game for the Raiders. McVay's, Stafford, listen, Tay coming back, Puka gonna be here.
And I would love to get the dub over that damn Devontae's ass, but it is what it is.
So one thing I will say, one of the biggest threats is obviously McVay's scheme, right? He's always found a way to manufacture quick completions, and he has the ability to get his playmakers in space.
He's a hell of a coach.
He has a lot of motion he runs. There's some things with McVay that just is just genius wise as far as how he likes to orchestrate the offense.
Agreed.
Um,
Agreed.
and I'm gonna give him I'm gonna give it to them on this one. I'm picking the Rams on this one. Giving the Raiders a L. As much as I don't like to just give them L's like that, I definitely do not see them winning that game outright with a healthy Rams team and with Matthew Stafford. Again, Raiders got a defense that's gonna have to prove something. And again, this is early, guys. This is literally like OTAs just happened. We ain't even in the training camp yet.
Right.
So this is something to me where I'm like, I can't say nothing else about him, Uncle Dave. Is that I got to take the Rams, man. I got to take the
I agree.
Rams. I got
I
to take the
agree.
Rams, man. This is
Well, let's get
something.
to the silver lining. Let's get to the silver lining, though. We bounce back after that.
Um,
We get the dark cloud away from my head after that week.
Now, yeah, I will say that obviously looking at week 8, we go on the road to the Jets, and again, this is a game that the Raiders on paper
Should
should
win.
win, should win. They
Yeah.
have they got a quarterback, they got running back, they got a
Freeze. Who has who? Wait a minute.
just got
Freeze.
a quarterback, man. He's a
The
10+
Jets.
year, yeah, yeah,
You talking about the same cat that was there that was in Vegas last year?
yeah. They got him.
Dub.
They got some pieces though. Here the thing is, I think that they made. I had to go back and look at their draft. They made some splashes in the draft. I think they made some splashes.
I don't disagree. I
But
don't disagree
I
with that.
don't. I will say that those guys are new. It's gonna take some time, but looking at it, obviously, do I think Gino's gonna beat the Raiders at home? I don't. If he does, I'll probably punch my TV. I'm gonna be real honest. If we lost to Geno Smith at all.
Gino's gonna come out. Here's gonna be the crazy part. Geno's gonna try to come out and put up 300 yards on us.
Just told you if he plays. Listen, if they win that game, you might as well say I'm buying a whole new 60-inch TV because I'm
I
punching
do
it.
believe in my brain, Geno tries to come out and hang up 300 to 400 yards on us,
Yeah.
but that still doesn't get him the dub.
But then again, here's another thing. It's one of those East Coast travel games too.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah.
So I'm
But I'm
hoping
still
they
going with the
I'm
dub.
hoping
I'm
I'm
still
hoping
going
they
with the dub.
figure something out about going to New England. They's like, all right, listen, we got smacked by New England. We ain't losing to these MFers.
Got to travel a day early
Yeah,
or
we
some
gotta
shit. I
travel a
don't
day
know.
early, man.
Yeah,
So
yeah,
I will say this, man. That's gonna be a game where the Jets week 8 are going to test our limits as far as us this travel. Mind you, that's part of the reason why or I feel like we got a tougher schedule because man, we got a lot of these East Coast games and that Jets game is a 1 o'clock game as well.
yeah.
So it's gonna
So
be
like you said,
it's gonna be different for the Raiders to get that. I
feels like
think
we're
they're
playing at 10 o'clock in the morning and shit.
yeah, I think they're gonna be all right, but that's gonna be something to where we're gonna see if they gonna get caught up in the BS or not. So hey man, Raiders, don't do us wrong, bro. You know, we everybody's riding on y'all to make sure y'all win that game. Kubiak, make sure they win the game, especially if y'all don't pull it off against the Patriots, man. Beat
Right,
the
right,
fucking
right,
Jets is
right,
all I'm saying. So
right.
to round out the end of this week 9, this first stretch of these games, man, we going to San Fran. Now, we got Kyle, we got Brock, we got CMC, got Fred Warner, Mike Evans, Kyle Shanahan has always found a way to utilize his best players. Um, he's obviously picked up some good players. I believe they still got Ricky Parasol there. I don't know if they have Demarcus Robinson anymore. I know that we and you talked about it previously that Juan Jennings is already
He's in
yeah,
Minnesota.
he went to Minnesota, so he's no longer there. Um, I will say this: Kubiak knows Shanahan now.
Yes, sir.
That works in our favor. So before I give my thought, I want to know you got an idea on how you think this game gonna pan out, Uncle Daddy? What's up? What you thinking?
Woo. This game is similar to a rival game, only because how they used to be positioned when both teams were in California. I'm gonna pick the Raiders to win this game.
Mm,
However, if they lose, it'll be by 3 or less. I
okay.
just know they don't like one another.
Yeah, it's definitely some bad blood between them, like
Correct.
badder than any AFC
Like I
West
really want to
rivalry.
give this. I really want to say, my heart tells me to pick the Niners if I was betting money.
Yeah,
Well, let me make sure I say this correctly. My pocket tells me to pick the Niners if I was betting money on that game. However, any slip up, the Raiders can win that game.
yeah.
And for whatever reason, the gambler in me, without placing money on it, says take the Raiders on that one.
I'm gonna take the Niners, man. I'm gonna take the Niners on this
I'm
one,
okay with that.
and I don't want to make it seem like I'm looking at it from a different scope of how you are. I'm kind of looking at it in the same lens. It's going to Levi is gonna be a tough. It's gonna be a tough go for them. I know
Only because they
Kubiak.
hate each other so much.
Yeah, I know Kubiak knows them. I just think Shanahan and them, even when Brock Purdy and them guys got guys just falling out, they'll still find a way to move the ball, man. And
Right.
defensively, I will say this though, I know that they don't have Salea there, but for some reason these guys are able to kind of plug in a guy in there
I
to the
don't think
way.
that defense is going to be. I don't see even. I know people been talking about Saleh being gone or whatever. I don't think the defense is going to take a slip. I see the offense taking a slip this year. You got no Brandon Ayuk, no Jennings, no Debo.
Yeah, but they also
Who they
still
throwing the ball to? But I know they're throwing the ball to Mike Evans and
they
Pearsall.
got Ricky Parasol. Of course, they still got George
Evans,
Kittle. And of course they still
my
got
bad.
Christian McCaffrey that's a
Oh yeah,
receiving
yeah,
threat.
yeah, yeah.
So his ideas to and him you not knowing who he's gonna throw to as far as Kyle Shanahan, he likes that. So that's
Yeah,
part
that's
of
his
his
mo. Agreed.
his
That's his
MO.
mo.
So that's
Yeah, yeah.
gonna work to his advantage. So it's hard for me to pick against the Raiders. I feel like at this point, if the Raiders are rolling, they're gonna be defensively. If they're rolling like they're locked in, it's gonna be some tough games where guys gonna be. It's gonna be hard for guys to manage some points on them. But with that being said, it being on the road is somewhere you look at and you're like, all right, I gotta figure this out, right? I
Yeah,
gotta
yeah,
make sure.
yeah, yeah.
I got to figure this out. I got to make sure that I can maximize what I need to um, against this team. And I'm just gonna take them just off the mere fact because they've already built that identity of how they can win games without certain players. Like this team, man, when they didn't have Brock Purdy, they had Mac Jones in there still being able to run the offense. That says a lot.
Agreed.
That says a lot just about the character of the team. I don't want to take it away from them because, granted, as far as Shanahan can do, he can do a lot more with less. And
I
even
agree.
then, they can
I agree.
kind of stumble into some wins. Again, I could be 100% wrong on this pick. I felt like this was one, though, that was an away game that could be pretty tough for them, even though it's on a coast, right? It's not somewhere you
Right.
got to travel all the way across the country to go play a football game. So I'm gonna give it to San Fran on that one. You know what I mean? And I just kind of gotta bite my teeth on it. Like I said, man, we're gonna be redoing these again as we get closer to the start
Yeah,
of the
yeah.
season. This is just to see where we at. And a lot of these, like I said, I kind of just looked at the schedule and then wanted to talk about it. I didn't even know the organization of the teams who was home or away. And when I started looking at it, I was like, damn, okay, that's a little bit different because we looking at these are possible trap games and we already talked about them, right? We already talked about the New Orleans Saints. The New England game could be a trap game just because I think the travel, you know what I'm saying? And the Jets could be a trap game because of the travel. Um, but a must-win game, like you said, Miami definitely a must-win. New Orleans is a must-win. The Rams a must-win. And the reason
They can
why,
pull it off. If they can pull
yeah,
it off,
that's what I
yeah.
was gonna say. These are must-wins because when we look at the playoff implications too, Uncle Daddy, we looking at right now is going through who the teams that you pretty much vying with in the AFC West as far as running through the playoffs. The Chiefs, the Chargers, the Broncos, the Bills, the Patriots, and then you could even throw in possibly the Ravens in there, right? You throw them in there as who
Right.
you got to go through as far as when you're starting to make a deep run.
And you know something else. I didn't do my due diligence on this. I don't know who some of these teams are playing before we play them.
Yeah, yeah,
I didn't do my homework on that. I just looked at the schedule, but I didn't look at the schedule of who the Rams play before they play us, who the Saints play before they play us. I didn't look at none of that.
yeah.
I'm
Well,
just going to. I
well,
gave this. I gave this the eyeball test.
yeah,
That's
you're
it.
supposed to. Like I mean,
Yeah.
if I knew exactly who somebody else was playing, I think for me that probably wouldn't matter only unless if we have been 2 3 years under this Kubiak system, and then I'll say, well,
Well,
who they
I think
playing?
it matters because if you're playing a team, let's just say you're playing a defensive minded team, they whoop your ass next week, and then you got to come play us. That could be bad.
Well, it could be,
That body can
but it could be,
that
but
team can.
then that's based. I mean, and again, that's true because the team could probably say, oh, we could try and just mimic what this other previous team did to beat them.
Correct.
Um,
Correct.
but with that even being said, some of these games are away too. Like some of the home games, that I see that could be more of a home game. Away
Like
games, I
this
usually
scares
go,
me. And I think you share this with me. It scares me. The East Coast games scare me more.
yeah,
Traveling to them.
yeah. The East Coast games definitely are the ones that
Yeah.
I'm kind of looking at. So I think for the most part, man, they are going to. have a good opportunity to come out of this maybe with a winning record. Um, Out of these first set of games, I want them to do that. I that would kind of give me more optimistic about the future, especially if all this is under your boy Kirk
Yeah,
Cousins, right?
yeah, yeah.
If
Agreed.
he's there and he's playing well, I think we got a big opportunity to do that, man. And
Definitely agree.
they
Definitely
will
agree.
they will definitely be able to set the tone for the second half of the season, right?
Agreed.
Or either if not second half, then out of the bye week, coming out with a fresh new mind, whether they're up fighting for playoffs or fighting for the division, or whether they down still trying to get themselves back into playoff contention or whatever it may be. So
Right, right.
I think for the most part, like you said, man, you know, the sky's the limit for them as far as the defensive side. They can be top 10. The offense is definitely something that we're gonna have to make sure that is
It's gonna be a work in progress.
trending in the right direction. I will say
Yeah,
there's a
yeah,
lot
yeah,
of
yeah.
pieces that we're
Agreed.
gonna have doing with that. But hey, man, listen, that was me and Uncle Dave's predictions on what we thought the records would be. Drop down in the comments, man. What do you got them at right now? What do you think about some of the away games that we got going across to New England and back to the Jets, right? Let us know what y'all think, man. But without further ado, man, we're gonna get up out of here. Like I said, we want to go ahead and drop you guys our predictions and let y'all know what we was thinking that they was gonna do. But I want to hear from you guys, man. Listen, we always love bringing this content to y'all. Love having fun with it. Just want to see our team win. And who
Just win,
knows,
baby.
man? We're definitely gonna try to make sure that we do a future two parts to this as well. I think I'm looking probably right after preseason's done. I like because at that point I know who's all on the 53 man roster. There might be some guys like I told you, Uncle Dave, that jumped out on the page that make me like, yo, he's showing signs if this is going this way. I like that. It might change some of my ideas about some of the games we was playing against, especially if the defense gets an opportunity in preseason to get out there and kind of fly around and see what we got, right? But Raider Nation, that's what I wanted you guys to let me know. Let me know in the comments, man. What do y'all think? Y'all think we got a shot to make the playoffs? Y'all think well, how many games y'all think we're gonna have in the first part? Be on the lookout for the second part. Me and Uncle Daddy gonna do, man, for this. But without further ado, man, I'm your boy Raider Rob. That's Uncle Daddy. It's Raider Nation Central, and we out,
And
right?
appreciate y'all for tuning in.
See y'all when we see you.